Hello folks, and thank you for joining. My name's Colin and I'm the host of the Gallant Few Rangers podcast, coming to you with my post-match reaction for Rangers 2, Hibs 0, and on what seems to be a running theme, another miserable, cold, wet night going back to Ibrox, but that's not going to dampen my spirits. Really decent display for Rangers tonight. Not quite the free-flowing, emphatic 5-0 win that we've seen against Hearts, but still a lot of positives to take. Only one change in that lineup, and that was Glenn Kamara coming in for the injured Ryan Jack, and from the off, Rangers were up for it. They were. They continued where they left off in Sunday. Really took the game to Hibs. Very forward thinking. The press was on from start to finish virtually. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst mentioned a few weeks ago when he was asked about it in one of his press conferences that in order to get the press going, the full team has to press, and I thought we've seen that work really well tonight. We pinned Hibs back for most of the game. When we pressed with purpose, and we put them under pressure, and it meant that there was less pressure on the back four. As I mentioned, off to a terrific start. Rangers got a penalty. I'll be completely honest, four rows for the back and the Copeland rear. This was at the Brimlin end, so I'm going to err on the side of caution and just presume it was a stonewall penalty. James Tavernier, very calm, collected, straight down the middle. Keeper goes to his right hand side. 1-0 to Rangers. What was really impressive for the next 10-15 minutes, Rangers continued to attack. Just small differences that made a huge impact. Small things like Glenn Kamara, for all he brings to the team, he is quite suspect for turning back and playing the safe ball, and I thought he was just make small differences, playing it forward, not taking the safe option. John Lundstrom as well in the middle of the park. I thought they two, they linked up the defence and the attack very, very well, but Rangers were on the front foot. About 15-20 minutes in, Hibs, they began to start making a bit of a scrappy game, and it did drop the tempo quite a bit, but I think that's always going to happen in games like these, where teams are going to try and make it hard for us to play the football we want to play. But credit to Rangers, they fought the battles, they won the fight, and they kept on trying. It wasn't for want of trying. It didn't always come off, obviously, until the second half, but they kept that forward thinking mentality when I thought it would have been really easy for them to just revert back to type and start maybe sitting in playing the safe ball. I'm really glad after the last the month that we've had, Hearts didn't, the forward thinking game against Hearts, that didn't just look like a one-off. Into the second half, a terrific goal from Alfredo Morelos to make it 2-0, and it just at a point where the game was potentially getting a bit nervy, as it always does at Ibrox when we're only one goal ahead and we're chasing, and when we make all these chances and they don't quite come off, it's only natural as fans to think, oh, this might be one of those games. But again, that second goal just really, you've seen it kill off Hibs any momentum they were going to try and get going. And another terrific finish for Alfredo Morelos. The players went wild down by the enclosure in front of the Copeland front, and Morelos, he's so fucking lovable. And we see when he's on fire and he's bouncing off the crowd and he's doing the handshakes, getting us railed up. There's not a more dangerous player in Scotland when he's in this mood. For the rest of the half, it was a Hibs did try and go and get one back. I thought Rangers dealt with everything for the most part very, very comfortably, and we again, I might be overemphasising this point, we didn't sit back in, we didn't just sit deep and allow it and try and see the game out. We managed the game as opposed to seeing the game out, and they are two very, very different things. So credit to Rangers. The only dampener for tonight, Liam Balogun going off in the first half with an injury. I didn't actually see too much what happened, but as soon as he was taken off, you knew his game was done. Just with his reaction, Calvin Bassett moving into centre half and Borna Barisic coming on at left back, and a couple of shaky moments at the start, not shaky moments, sorry, but a couple of moments where, you know, he was playing a safe ball and he wasn't quite closing down as quickly as we would have liked, and you know, I was thinking, is this going to be a repeat Park kid? But fair play to him, he grew into the game, he stood up and manned up, so you know, good to see Bonner back in there, because he is a confidence player, so the only way he was ever going to get over last week is by having a decent display, so long may it continue, and then we'll potentially have a really good challenge between Barisic and Bassey for the left back spot. One thing I do want to call out, because I've been potentially overly critical, especially on when we were reviewing Sunday's 5-0 game, the defence. I didn't have any heart in my mouth moments, there wasn't any stray passes at the wrong area, we didn't lose any balls over the top. For the most part, they really managed the game well, and I have called out for weeks that the longer those stupid mistakes go on, the worse it's going to be for us. So credit where credit's due. I've criticised them plenty, so it's only right to call it out when they have a good game. Thanks very much for watching. We'll be back with you next week on Tuesday night when we discuss in further detail to tonight's game and hopefully a victory against Annan. Take care, we are the people.